Welcome Facebook Live. We are at Harvest Spirits today. Harvest Spirits Farm Distillery in upstate New York, in Hudson Valley. And Jamie and I have been from Aroma Time and buying this for a long time. We got introduced to you a while ago, and we're here with Derek from Harvest Spirits.
Hello, welcome to Harvest Spirits. This is our little distillery that we converted from a cold storage space into New York's first farm distillery about 10 years ago.
So we'll do Facebook Live. I'll also do some other recording here. I'll edit this. That won't be edited. I guess our guests can follow along with us and do a virtual tour and tasting.
Sure.
We just smelled some amazing gin.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So this is our newest gin, newest product. It's a gin made from our own apples. It's called Core Gin because it's based off of core vodka. What we're doing is we're taking our vodka, which is made from apples, and we're infusing it with 3 botanicals and distilling it again to make gin. It's a unique tasting gin because most gins are not made from apples. Most gins are made from grain. This apple being made from 100% apples tastes different.
Cool. How new is that product?
We just came out with this in January, so we are bottling our 3rd batch of it.
So brand new, 2017.
It's been flying off the shelves.
Excellent. I don't think we've tasted it yet, have we?
No.
Have you had this in any tastings?
No, we haven't. It's so new, we haven't had to hype it. We're only using 3 botanicals. Juniper, of course, coriander, and lemongrass. Instead of using a lemon peel or an orange peel, lemongrass is a unique citrus flavor that we discovered works well with the apple base that we're using. So when you taste it, what obviously hits you is the juniper. I didn't want to skimp.
I can taste the lemongrass without a doubt. I love lemongrass. How good is that?
It's really good.
And then the apple flavor. So it's great. It sells for the same price as core vodka, and we think it's a real good innovation that the craft spirits market will appreciate, being made from apples.
Where's your big market in New York? Is it New York City? Is it the Hudson Valley? Where can people find your product?
Yeah. We're available all over New York State, from Montauk out to Buffalo, but we really are focused on Manhattan, up the Hudson Valley to, say, Albany, Lake George, that area. But you can even find us all the way up to Plattsburgh.
Okay.
Yeah.
So just in New York State?
Just in New York State. We're independently distributed, and so we've decided to keep our brand local. And for us, it makes sense to be special by being local. And if we start to go beyond New York State, for us, it doesn't have the same local cachet as if you're only available where you're made. Right. Remember the old Rolling Rock before it was available, west of the Mississippi, and Coors before it was available east of the Mississippi.
Yeah.
It was a big deal because of its, it was hard to find. So I think being regional has its own benefit.
Oh, absolutely.
Be limited in where you sell your product.
Totally agree. So are all the spirits made with an apple base?
For the most part, they are, except for our Pear Brandy, which we just won nationwide best aged fruit brandy in the country, and also our John Henry whiskey, which is made from malt barley, but is infused with smoked apples.
Okay. Oh, great.
Yeah.
Awesome. Barley local, where does that come from?
It's brewed locally. The barley is grown 75% New York State.
Okay. Awesome. What's next? Is there any next projects coming?
We're really focusing on apple brandy, and to that end, we've recreated the Colonial Applejack. The way Applejack was made in the colonial era was that it was frozen. It wasn't distilled. This is much more like port, and it's got a lot more flavor of apples. It's more like a ice cider than an Applejack.
Okay.
The difference is that it's frozen during fermentation, not pre-fermentation.
Okay.
Also, it's aged for a long time to go through a long malolactic fermentation.
So once it's frozen, it stops the fermentation?
It doesn't.
It doesn't?
Once it warms up again, it starts fermenting again.
Really?
But if you get too much alcohol or too much sugar, it'll stop the fermentation. So you arrest the fermentation by increasing the alcohol and the sugar concentrate through freezing twice.
That is really smooth.
Yeah.
That is really, that's like a very nice ripe apple.
This one
like
is
port.
only 1 year old.
You said it's like port, right?
like port.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It does taste
This
like
one's
port
only
to me.
1 year old, 17% alcohol.
How would this equate like as an ice wine? As an apple ice wine? 'Cause
Okay, it's going to
they
be
have
more milky and less sharp.
Okay.
And it's going to have the barrel flavor to it, which brings out maple, toasted coconut flavors. Also higher alcohol. Ice cider is 11% alcohol, and this is 17.
Oh,
So we're
Okay.
doing double freezing on this.
Okay.
That's delicious. That's a great
Isn't that
port
good? Like a lot of
substitute.
vanilla coming
Really
out.
nice.
Yes.
We're going to add that on to our port flight, I think.
We can
I
add
think
that
we're
on to
gonna
our
add
port
that.
flight.
Right now, I think we have a Hudson.
Something's on our.
Yeah. On
We
our-
carry a few of the products.
Yeah. And we sell that to wholesalers at the same price as Applejack.
Okay.
So here in the tasting room, it goes for 60
Okay.
instead of 43. But for you guys, the wholesale price,
Okay.
since the label's the same, is the same.
Okay.
And it's good. It's just like it's
I'm
a real
excited.
lush kind of Colonial Applejack.
Yeah, delicious.
Something you can only get by making,
Yeah.
because it's not commercially available.
Hello, everybody who just joined. Sherry and Don. Who's that? Mac. Hi, Mac.
Max on?
Mac's on. Hi, Mac. And your cousin Sherry.
My cousin Sherry. Hi, Sherry. Hi, Mac. What else are we tasting?
Okay, since I talked a little about whiskey, I think you should try the whiskey. What's unique about the whiskey is that it's got an infusion of smoked apples. Nobody in Scotland would ever do something as dastardly as this, where you infuse a whiskey with something like smoked apples. We cold smoked the apple pressings after they were pressed in the apple.
Okay.
The cider press. And then we cold smoked it and put it in our gin basket on our second distillation.
Okay.
So it's got a almost like a creosote kind of oiliness to it, backed up by a rich backbone of malt.
Ooh. Jay, you can adjust.
I'm trying. I think I
You
got
can
it in a good
adjust
spot.
here on one of these, and where you can actually level it out. There you go.
Yeah, but you want it like that. So
There you go.
perfect. My arm was
This
starting to
is
hurt.
amazing. So
It's a new take on whiskey. Okay, so Scotch has been done in every which way, but we've got unique products here. We've got it's smoky. We
that's from
wanted
the
to go
apple
really-
pressings.
Yeah, so
would that be like replacing the peat?
Yes.
Okay.
It's trying to replace the peat is what we're doing. Is replacing the peat by infusing it with a smoked apple. Now, this is not every bottle of John Henry's going to taste like this. This is only the current bottling. Every expression we do is a little bit different.
Okay.
And we name our barrels. Each barrel gets its own name. And some of the barrels...
Were those up there? All those?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Some of the barrels get their own illustrations.
That's
Lots of them
cool.
get their own names.
We'll get those on camera in a
They
bit.
certainly get their own character.
Yeah, I'll take them all.
Yeah.
Show you.
That's really cool. The barrels.
I
You don't work
started
with the barrels?
drawing...
Kevin
yeah.
from Catskill Distilling says hello.
Oh, hey, Kevin.
He's on. Hi, Kevin.
So I started drawing on the barrels years ago. This is our production facility and our aging room and our tasting room. So the people that taste in here get to look at everything. And so instead of having just blank barrels or the same stencil over and over again, I thought it'd be nice to have varied illustrations. And I've got a ways to go. You can see there are a lot of blank barrels out there still.
That's cool.
So do you draw them?
I do. Yeah, I take a magic marker to them.
Very cool.
And
Very cool.
and sometimes they're puns, sometimes They're like album covers, like there's Frank Zappa and there's Rush.
Very cool.
Sometimes there's a New Yorker cartoon, you know. Sometimes they're original, like this guy's original.
Okay.
But the Wild Rumpus is obviously a rip-off from where the Wild Things are.
Yeah. The Wild Rumpus. That's great.
Can we let the camera take a peek at the gin?
Sure. Check this out. This is our third batch of gin.
It is so clear.
It's so clear, and it's hard to translate the smell of juniper.
Amazing.
But it feels like you're standing in a forest full of juniper berries.
Oh, it's so
with
good.
with lemongrass crunching underneath your feet.
It's amazing. I mean, and even when you shut it, the smell just permeates in the air. It's really,
Thank you.
it's so nice.
Our gin is quite new. This
Oh,
is
it's
Sadie.
yummy.
Sadie's been here for
Hi, Sadie.
longer than the distillery. She's ancient,
Yeah.
and she barks at customers, so she's not allowed during the weekends.
Ah.
Only during the weekends.
Excellent. All right, now I can put that down a little bit.
Hi, Sadie. Hi, Sadie.
Okay, we're good. Like, perfect. Hi, sweetie.
So
Really
one of our
impressed with the
latest
whiskey.
products is apple brandy. It's 7-year-old apple brandy. To my knowledge, that's the oldest apple brandy available in the Hudson Valley and probably New York State.
Okay.
Of course, it's homegrown. We had a long head start to make brandy and started aging this a long time ago. This particular bottling is Fuji apples. It's distilled in May of 2010. And we just bottled it up a couple months ago. And it's really quite soft. There's no new oak. The color is actually quite pale for being a 7-year-old. And that's really important because if you put new oak in a delicate apple brandy, especially for this amount of time, you'll ruin it. You'll completely overpower it with oak flavors. You really want the oak to be in the background and allow the alcohol to make long chain fatty acids over time. So what's happening when you're aging spirits, it's not just oak flavor that's going in there, but you're also on a molecular level building long chain fatty acids. And this adds to a better mouthfeel, smoother spirits.
Okay.
It's not just because it evaporates, but it's also getting oxygen. Right? It's changing. And you feel that change 5 to 7 years on an apple brandy. If it's a 2-year-old brandy, it's still going to be really rough and expressive. But you get beyond 3 years and into 5 years, and you start coming out with these coconut and vanilla flavors that just dance on your tongue, coat your throat.
This is incredibly smooth.
Yeah.
Delicate, really, wow.
Needs time. It always does.
That's delicious.
Yeah.
So those are the some of the new things that we've got here. Colonial Applejack, the 7-year-old apple
What does the
brandy.
7 retail for?
This one retails for a modest $33.
Wow.
And the reason we're doing that is because we've got a lot of it. We have the luxury of setting our own price. And moreover, I want young drinkers of apple brandy to not be intimidated by the price.
You must buy this.
And
This is amazing stuff.
It's really good.
$33.
$33, 7 years.
Retail.
New York's best, oldest apple brandy.
This is amazing. What does the whiskey retail for? What did you say on that again?
The whiskey, we just lowered the price. This was retailing for $60. We just lowered it to $55 to be a little bit more competitive, get it out there a bit more. We also have $3.75, these cute little guys, which are $38. Those just came down $2. The malt whiskey with the smoked apple infusion will be available for another 2 weeks before we go back to more traditional malt whiskey. But it's always important to ask your distiller what's in the bottle, because as craft distillers, we are constantly putting different things in our bottles with different expressions, and that's part of what being craft is.
Right. You know, there's a lot of the New York distilleries, and a lot of people are shocked by this. Distilleries that don't make their own whiskeys.
Mm-hmm.
They just buy barrels from MGP, which is an Indiana company, age it themselves and this and that, and you always want to ask, like, do you actually make what's in the bottle?
That's a very important question to ask. At what point do you make your product? You know, some places make vodka from apples, but they buy their apples somewhere else, and some places press it, and some places press their apples. Some places might actually buy the finished vodka and put it in bottles. So at lots of different points during the process can somebody be a distiller. Our whiskey, for example, we don't grow the barley. We don't malt the barley. Some places do, like Hill Rock Estate. They actually grow and malt their own barley. We don't do that.
How far are they from here?
They're on the other end of the county. They're 45 minutes away to the southeast.
So this would make a great trip. Jimmy, how far is this from Ellenville? You're an hour from New Paltz.
Mm-hmm.
We're probably about an hour
and 15 minutes?
15 minutes, yeah.
So, of course, we have the van that seats 15
talking
people that
about-
we do tours with. If anybody wants to come up here for the day, we can come here. We can go to Hill Rock.
There are now 4 quality distillers in Columbia County. There are at least 4 breweries that I know of, quality breweries. And there are at least 3 wineries that I know of in Columbia County.
I think we're going to put a trip together.
We need to put a trip together, come up here
Come
for
up
the
here.
day, get the van filled with people and some our guests, and come on up and really, I mean, this is amazing. I mean, for people to see, you pull up, there's apple trees everywhere. This is an impressive place, and I've always been impressed with your product.
Yeah.
So that's why we've supported you for so long.
Thank you. Well, all I can say is come up. I invite you guys anybody on Facebook to come up and visit our distillery. We're open every day from 12 to 5. We've got all kinds of great things, including vinegar, which most people don't have. We got fancy, like, propaganda.
And all these
Even
cute
these
little
cute little
bottles, I like
packaging.
those.
You know, come
like
come
that.
up and get a little mini 6-pack
That is
of different
great.
spirits.
It is
here
really cool.
in your hand. You get a distillery tour in your hand.
I like those.
And whether you're with us or not, come in, say hello,
Tell them,
mention Aroma Time.
and come to Aroma Time and drink their stuff as
Yeah,
well.
absolutely.
Our stuff's available at Aroma Time, and I certainly encourage you to go there. Eat, drink, be merry.
Anything else you want to mention?
Well, the last thing I want to leave you with is Pear Brandy. There's not a lot of distillers that make Pear Brandy because it's so hard to make. Not only is it hard to make, you can only make it in the fall. You can't make it any other time of the year but the fall. And
That's an important point because pears won't hold. Was that what that
that's
is?
right. They rot much quicker than apples, and they don't float. Whereas apples float. The rotten apples will sink to the bottom. The good apples float to the top. With pears, they all ripen uniformly, and they have to be fermented on the skins.
Okay.
So this is really the most challenging spirit to make is Pear Brandy, and it's not scalable. Whiskey, and to a certain extent brandy in general, is scalable, but when you're fermenting on the skins, you can't make a lot of it. It's just cannot be done. So most people that make Pear Brandy only have unaged Pear Brandy like this, what they call eau de vie. We have an aged Pear Brandy, which is unique. There's not a lot of this in the country. And we just won Best in Class nationwide, meaning it's the best aged fruit brandy in the country according to the American Distilling Institute.
How does this different from Calvados? Is Calvados made from pears or apples?
Calvados is made from apples.
Apples. Is there a French equivalent to this?
The French equivalent to this would be eau de vie de poire, which is this. But they usually don't age it.
Okay.
This is aged, and it's the aged version of this. They're the same 100% Bartlett pears, fermented on the skins, for maximum flavor. And it is quite intense. It's not our best seller, but for me, it's my labor of love. And it shows, I think, kind of separates Applejack from brandy. You know, Applejack is light, delicate. This is rich, aromatic, unapologetic, hits you in the face with pear flavor.
Very pear, ripe pear.
Ripe
Oh
pear.
yeah.
And so this is not a novice drink. This is not for just anybody to come up and. We do get people that come up thinking it's a liqueur or a cordial,
No, we're very sweet.
and
It's
they're very
not
disappointed.
sweet, yeah.
You know.
So, how would you drink this?
I
With a
would make-
cube, or would you make a cocktail?
I make a little cucumber gin and tonic and put a splash of this as an adjunct.
Delicious.
I would
Very
not
nice.
use it as a base spirit.
Okay. And of course, drink it neat or with a cube.
Neat in a brandy snifter. Wouldn't even
Okay.
bother with a cube.
Okay.
Neat in a brandy snifter, big glass, big riedel. Or put it in a gin and tonic with cucumber.
That
And,
sounds-
and,
Sounds
and an
delicious.
adjunct. It's just a
I want one.
splash.
Oh, yeah, one, two.
Like one bottle will last you a year, honestly.
Yeah, delicious.
All right, awesome. So, anything else for our Facebook fans? We're out here doing work.
Yeah.
This is a lot of work we're doing.
Come visit us soon. We've got fire cider that's about to be bottled. We've got black raspberry we're going to be distilling soon.
And what vinegars do you make?
Vinegars. Maple we talked a little bit about. We talked a little about the apple, balsamic apple. This is the only balsamic vinegar available made from apples to my knowledge. It's the only maple vinegar available in New York State to my knowledge. We also do peach vinegar. This is made a sweet peach vinegar. It's kind of tangy. And the most popular is the fire vinegar. Let me just show the camera what this looks like. 'Cause you can't really get the... So this here is fire vinegar. And this is, we used to make it in 5-gallon jugs, and now we make it in 30-gallon tubs. And
Oh, wow.
it's made with honey,
my goodness.
apple cider vinegar, a ton of ginger, fresh
You could
ground
smell
gin,
this right now,
garlic.
wow.
It just, the whole room will permeate and smell just intense. We also spice it up with some smoked chipotle peppers.
Are the vinegars available retail throughout the Hudson Valley or New York?
Not in a lot of places yet, since we're still ramping up, but you can find us in places like Honest Way Co-op in Albany. Let me see, Berkshire Co-op carries us.
Can people order online?
Not yet.
Not yet, okay.
Not yet.
They have to come here in person.
You won't be disappointed.
Oh my goodness, that smells so good. Yum.
All right, so I'm not sure where we're going next. We should probably maybe stop by Chatham Brewery. I don't know. We love Chatham at Aroma Time. We have on
Good
there
beer.
their Bach right now. They're Bach. What else do we have on from them? Oh, we have on one of their IPAs.
Farmer's Daughter.
Had
Not
on
farmers.
there. We had there.
Their new Infinity series. I have a keg of that.
You have a keg. I don't know if it's on yet, is it?
Might be.
It's not on.
It's not on. It should be.
Not
Needs to
yet.
be. It needs to be.
Something can-
Right across the street from Chatham Brewing is the People's Pub, which has great food, open air kitchen,
Okay.
not to be missed.
Cool.
Part of the Ballinger clan from Webster
Excellent.
Hall.
Are there a lot of B&Bs up here, inns?
No, sadly, only Hudson has recently had an opening of B&Bs and hipster hotels,
Okay.
boutique hotels. Everywhere else in the county is lacking in beds.
Okay. So you should end up in Hudson if you're going to spend the night here.
That's right.
Not so
Probably
much.
where
How
we're
far
at.
is Hudson?
That's probably where
Hudson's
we're
the
ending.
seat of the county, and from here it's 20 minutes.
Yeah, I think that's where we're going.
Yeah.
We're going to end up in Hudson.
There's so many places in Hudson.
Good.
Can't,
Excellent.
can't go wrong.
All right. Thanks for tuning in.
Thank guys.
Thank you, Derek. Great tour. Awesome product. And